Hey, beautiful people. My name is Eric. I'm the founding director of Youth Leader. And when people ask me, what do you do, Eric? And how can I be part of Youth Leader? Then I say, hmm, let's begin with looking at what kids are doing today. What comes to your mind when you think of what kids are doing today? Here's what I know what kids are doing. Emma collected 500,000 books for Aboriginal community schools in need, very remote. They had no books at all, basically, in the whole community, but high suicide rates were years behind in reading and writing. It all changed. It's what kids do today between the age of 13 and 18. 500,000 books, all good books, like Harry Potter, Our Earth, dinosaurs. Or Jen. Jen creates handmade cards for children who are long-term in hospital, like she was for 2 years. And what made her day and kept her sane was lots of handmade, beautiful cards around her bed. She has sent 100,000 handmade cards to children in hospital. 100,000 because so many people join in. Like you see here, school classes can join in. People, teachers love to help, citizens from all over the world. People create beautiful postcards at home, send them to her, and she distributes them to hospitals. You can do that. Hundreds of kids and adults in your town can do that. They can create 1,000 cards with ease and send that to hospitals. Go ahead. So that's part of the action guide. For every hero in Youth Leader, we provide an action guide to do like them. Easy to advanced, 4 levels for bigger impact. If you see this poster with like 60 teenage heroes, times 4, there's 240 missions for you already. But let's look what else kids are doing today. So Alicia, she's doing a million things since age 5. She's really teaching you what one kid can do. It's so many things, but other kids can do it. And here, she's with a gangster gardener, and she just created community fruit tree alleys. Always 10 trees with beautiful, yummy fruit and planted them on the street in her kind of bleak neighborhood. So these are community fruit trees where everybody can pick when harvest is ripe. And she has checked out and mapped 10 different areas in her district to altogether plant 100 trees. You can do that. Kids in your community can do that. People will love it, and it beautifies public space, and it gives you an experience of shaping public space and life in town. So Cassandra, when she was 10 years old, she learned that lots of restaurant grease is being dumped. But you can turn this into biofuel. So she started a club, turned grease into fuel, and here you see her with her other fifth grader friends, and they partnered with 180 restaurants, and they have since given their profit share of $180,000 value of biogas for heating to families in need in harsh winters. Kids everywhere can do this. So Babar, he learned that kids in his village were too poor to attend school, so he founded his own school at age 9. You can do this. So if you say you can't found a school, but well, then you can teach children what skills and knowledge that you have as a teenager, because that's what he did. What he learned in the morning at school, he taught the kids in the afternoon. And this game turned into a full-fledged school, and today he's had more than 6,000 students. And a new school was built for him, because he started in his family's backyard. So there's 4 actions. Teach others what you know for free. It's a great experience, really empowering. Like, make magical stuff, make it awesome. Also at school, at a class presentation, if you say school is so boring, yeah, now you become teacher and make it magical. Create a magical learn station on a playground for kids, on like dinosaurs or Our Earth or something, And then, of course, work with Babar, because Babar is still the world's youngest headmaster. He's super famous all over India. His story is in India's English textbook. Every year, 50 million kids read his stories, and they have to pass, complete tests. They need to know the right answers about details of his story. So he's super famous. But the thing is, you can work with him. With Youth Leader, you can meet with him by video, hear his story, and then create additional learning dimensions for his village school students, like international dialogue with schools for English learning, intercultural exchange, global learning, and you can start projects together. Yeah, he's got a big garden, big space. You can create permaculture, experiments, all kind of things. You can also go visit. Yeah, you can go visit as a tourist, or as a volunteer, or as a coach, or as a school class. Will you even organize a youth exchange? You can do that with Youth Leader, with Babar, and many other teenage heroes. Neha, she heard there's 140 million orphans in the world. And if they cannot grow up with a full life, their problem will become ours when they are grown up. And then it's for the next 50 years. So she decided, I'm going to give orphans everything that a well-situated kid in town has. A safe, loving home, friendship, play, health, education, a bicycle, computer and internet. You know, they have these cabinets in the orphanages there. So, and she didn't know how to start, so just raise money. So she raised over $3 million now, and by the time that she was 17 or 18, she started at age 9, she made over $2 million. That's a monthly average of $15,000. You can do that, you know. And she said, I asked her, how do you do this? Do you live like in a neighborhood of just rich people on golf courses? No, persistence. And it's a beautiful cause, so then people get beautiful photos of progress. You know, they get a feeling of their impact, and your dollars or euros make a lot of impact in low-income regions. So that is one of your superpowers. Don't feel bad about not having time to do projects. You're having time, you're giving your lifetime, not in doing the project, but in doing your work. And then you give just some of that value, you know, imagine like 1 hour's value as a professional per week on Friday for future. You give 1 hour of your work. So that's like $20 an hour, or 60 for many professionals, or even 200. And you do this weekly. So you give like 20 times for $80 a month. Sounds a lot. Yeah, but be more awesome. It's just 1 hour of your lifetime committed. Many of these teens, like Emma and Jen, they work like full-time for Future. Full-time, every day. You know, it's their passion. They do it as their sport, like an athlete. Not an amateur, not a clique, you know, but like full-on. Like others are gaming 6 hours a day. They are 6 hours a day working on packaging boats, you know. That is how you change the world. That is love turned into action. Because if you say you love kids or I love the planet, yeah, it's not just words. It's like, yeah, kids, I love you, but I don't have time to play with you. Oh yeah, I love you, but I don't have time to uplift you, my wife. Oh, then you don't really love her. It's just blah blah blah. So if you love Earth, well, then show it. You know, you give your lifetime for her upliftment, for the ecosystem restoration for the kids. So if you love young people on the planet, yeah, then you give some of your lifetime, either in form of money that you earned by giving hours of your lifetime, or by using our flyers to call for book drives in town. You know, people love it. You use Emma's story, the example, you tell that at a local school, you will find teachers who love it. And then some students in class will love it, and they pass on the message to the school. 1,000 students, if each just gives one book, it's 1,000 books. It's worth $10,000. It's a library, man, 1,000 books. It's a magical children and teens library. And you have these 13-year-olds, you ask them for one magical book of your childhood, for this. And we have beautiful recipients in other countries, you know, project partners, because one of the things you need is a great recipient who will also vividly document. So your whole school, the whole school of 1,000 students feels their impact. You know, whoa, whole library, everything changes in the town for the kids now. We can also do this in African refugee camps by youth-led centers, you know, so you give them this library. Imagine a refugee camp. They don't even have phones. You know, they cannot afford a telephone. They have nothing, no book, nothing. So, and then they will have this beautiful space to dream and come together, the families, the different generations, and they learn about the other activities at the center. You know, that's what you can do with Youth Leader. But you got to do the book drive. You got to be more awesome and generate the book drive. like Emma has been doing since she's like 13 years old. You can do this, with our logo, the label, the story, the photos, the platform that we have, the video meetings with me and with others, and with the Somali in the refugee camp, and Skumbuzo in South Africa, in a really tough post-conflict, post-apartheid region. It's actually current conflict and total disaster, rainstorms, everything destroyed. So you have enormous powers, and we give you an ecosystem of partners and magic tricks to use. So you can do this. And because teachers love it and students love it, like I just said, and journalists love it, they tell the stories. Craig did this to liberate children from forced labor and then to build schools. So now he has teams at 16,000 schools. These are not anomalies. This is not crazy hippie stuff. No, it's mainstream, because it gives teachers a chance to bring global issues to life, the Sustainable Development Goals. Here they are, to bring them to life. Not just blah, blah, but really change lives and land with tangible results. This is not about protest, waiting for government to tweak the rules or pay someone to fix stuff. Right now you had 3 or 5 years to watch. It's not happening. That era is over. The era is over, centralized era, or decentralized even. Now it's distributed. Every cell of the societal organism, every citizen, has to be active and able to know solutions, like I'm just telling you, and to be caring. Because fascists and violent people, they're able and active, but not very heart-centered, So you gotta be able, active, caring citizen. And not just a voter. That was 20th century and it's over. Okay, things only have their time. There was a big upgrade from monarchy, where you were a minion. The moment you pop your head out, cut off. There's still places like that, and dictatorships, totalitarian regimes, fascism, communism still exists, and monarchies. So if you live in a libertarian democracy, you gotta understand that in the stream of time, you're already on the next level. You're not a minion anymore, or a moron, like turned into a stupid vegetable by some fascist criminal mafia state. But you're in a libertarian democracy where you're a voter, where it's clear, you understand, it's no longer good enough. And the dishonorable people in dirty industry have captured it. Yeah, that's why now it's next level. That doesn't work anymore. Next level is able, active, caring citizen. And that is what adult generation has achieved. The grandfather generation has achieved, we all have a fridge now and heating, okay? So we have time to sit and learn. Then the next generation achieved the global internet. So that means we can now communicate together, and we can learn from the world's Gandhis and Gryffindors, who I'm just telling you about. You can meet these people for real. For the first time in history, you can have a live video meeting with refugees in a refugee camp in Africa from a war region. That's never been possible in human history before. And you can send them money, books, coaching to better their situation by youth leaders, by teenage heroes in the refugee camp. I mean, that's spectacular. That's what the internet's been invented for. What are you using it for? But you think you're really clever, right? Well, so be more awesome, all right? So we help you be more awesome. So first of all, I wake you up. I tell you what's going on, what's insufficient, but I tell you, okay, this is the next level. It's not to go for stupid protest, man. No, it's over. But you gotta be the awesome one. You gotta learn the solutions and you implement them. Oh, that's work, it takes so much time. Ah! Well then, the good future, Earth, the kids, that's not worth so much. I'm not gonna do that. Ah! Yeah, you're going to think about whether you are a 20th century failing model or whether you have an inner operating system that's able to create that new society and that qualifies as an inhabitant of that new good civilization. Because if you are lazy and just a voter, you don't qualify as such an inhabitant. Because if only such people inhabit that society, it will break apart. So you all have to carry and uplift it and co-create and dream it all the time. So that is why you have to do a veritable operating system upgrade. No longer to live on a proprietary, that it belongs to someone else. Your thinking and what you do. Like a Windows 95. No, now it's like open source, co-created by everybody, organic, flowing, evolving all the time, connected with the living organism of the planet. Yeah, living in the now. That's what the kids do. So it's a lot of fun. You see it from their faces. They're having a lot of fun. There's so much passion. It's beautiful. It's inner and outer paradise. You feel inner peace, joy, abundance. You cultivate that because it's so uplifting. You get the positive progress news. You have a vision. You got a mission. You live vocation. You meet beautiful people and you see impact on real lives and land. So you just got to do it. Yeah, so if I'm just talking, that's where we give you quick start actions in the first month for a Be More Awesome challenge. So you experience it. You experience it with super simple steps. And then you assess, oh, does it feel good? Do you like it? And then like people have their favorite music. So you have your favorite sport. It's like playing a sport and you can play it a little bit or full time. You can be a spectator and you just donate. It's okay. You fuel the movement. It's okay. So you already notice there's different species of teenage heroes here, not just eloquent speakers. Of course, there's such warriors, they fire people up, but you've also already heard of planters, of healers, from what I told you, Oh, this is really hard. Where is the bloody camera? So there's also sirens who sing, there's party wizards, there's adventurers, there's storytellers, that do great media. So there's different species of change makers among teenagers. And so far, the only thing that gets shown to them at school is eloquent speaker protesters. Well, first of all, I can speak like that. Second, we just need to show people the video. Why should I learn to do this? Third, protest. Going to war against the bad stuff is not really super cool. In many sense, it's not the solution. It's still in the problem field. So once you show young people at school these other options, 16,000 schools, then many young people respond and say, that's cool, I like this. So you give them super many different causes as well as many different activities for everybody to pick from. It's like Changemaker Olympics, all right? Some choose gymnastics, some choose football, some skateboarding, and they totally don't want to do the other stuff, but they respect everybody else because they have this athlete, badass skill level and spirit. So you understand, we're all part of the same family. So in Youth Leader, our student clubs embrace all the different causes and topics. So people take their main thing, but when the others need, we need 20 people in animal costumes for a fundraiser on Saturday, the others will come. Because it's just for these 3 hours and it will be fun. It's the nicest thing to do on a Saturday morning. So when the others say, we are building this stuff and now then we need so many hands to carry it. Okay, it's heavy stuff, but I can do this for 3 hours, So we go there and we bring cookies and we have a great time and somebody sings. So you make change a festival, a party. So you put the fun into fundraising. So we're coming back to how can I make so much money, Yeah, you just got to make it fun for so many people that they like to give a little bit because they enjoy it. So you give them opportunity to make a simple, swift contribution. So the total champ for this is Lulu with Lemonade Warriors. Okay, they put the fun into fundraising with philanthropy parties. So many tips to find in there. Here's one big fat magic trick. Namaste Nepal in Germany. It's a student club and they have a partner village in the Himalaya, in Nepal. So they organize a student run. Because I heard they're building schools, kindergartens, libraries, salarizing teachers, they make a work visit, they build greenhouses, they reforest, they do health camps, they introduce new crops. I said, whoa, how do you guys make so much money? They said, yeah, we do a sponsor run. I say a sponsor run. Sponsor run is like usually in the afternoon, 2 hours, it's in summer, it's way too hot. The kids are like dying in the heat and then they get like 50 cents for the run. I say, the parents should give $5 and not ask them to run. But they do a 48-hour sponsor run, day and night, from Friday afternoon until Sunday afternoon. 48 hours they run, day and night. And he would tell this story to a gamer and he would say, ooh, awesome, epic. Yeah, and that's how you get them. So usually it's like 70-80% girls that do stuff. But with this stuff, you also get the boys. 2 o'clock at night? Yeah, we're going running, man. So, mom, I'm not coming for dinner today. Like, I'm staying out, no, you gotta come for dinner. No, you're not just coming back at 9 o'clock. No, 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 I'm coming at 4 in the morning. What? Yeah, I gotta run for the kids. Bye. Here's the flyer in the name of the Lord, UNESCO. We're doing this. So, and the 48-hour time window also gives opportunity for other nice people in town to join. Good kindergarten coaches, teachers, elementary school, middle school, they will bring their flock and they're all running. And the students say, this is crazy stuff. Yeah, let's do it. How much can we rock? Which class generates the most money? And you get differently able people to come. And athletes like boxers, football players, marathon runners. There's people there that run 3 marathons in 3 days. I mean, it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They really do 120 kilometers. And yeah, and then the mayor comes. And when the mayor comes, the journalists come. And then it's in the media, and then the companies sponsor. So it's like the whole town joins in. It's a town of just 30,000 people. Boring, where nothing ever happens. Until now. So it's the coolest date in town, the biggest philanthropy party, everybody comes. So they make $40,000, 40,000 euros on a single weekend. Ooh, it's fun. Everybody loves it. So, and $40,000 in rural Africa or India, that's worth like $300,000 or euros. Whereas in Germany, you can hardly organize a party with the mayor on a parking lot, for that money. There, you shape the future of an entire region. That's a very powerful experience. You can do this. You can do this now. You got it. You got our status, you got our stories, you got their story, you have video meetings, you have partners in different parts of the world, self-defense for girls in India, permaculture in Africa, youth leadership centers in refugee camps. All these are super hot popular topics. And everybody's like, oh my God. And here you can do like a badass pilot project and boom, you got people that will do it. They're staff, they're able. What they need is some money. It's just how it is. But you can do this. You can do this with a company. We are here to help. You can book speakers, coaches. You can get certified as a coach. So you just got to raise your voice. So Coral, at age 7, she got super fed up by the lies on television about how healthy things are and so much milk and so good for the children, but it's full of GMOs and sugar. So she started a YouTube show, Coral Organics, educating parents and kids on yucky stuff and popular foods. You can do this. Kids can do it. You can do it in class. You form teams. They do research on different foods. They check what's in there, what's unhealthy, and then they create this YouTube video and they upload it, to her channel. And now imagine you do this at 50 schools in all of Europe or your continent. I mean, you get like a huge educational library, These are viral videos. It shapes worldview of millions of kids. Well, go ahead, what are you waiting for? It's here you got the story, the action guide, youth leader, all the other stuff, the posters, you go. You want nature, well then you go into nature like Abby, and she goes hiking, Britain's historic hiking trails, and shares on her YouTube channel how awesome it is. Her breakthroughs and breakdowns and magical moments and crying and with tips how to survive and to have happy feet, and to go camping. And how it's for mental health and so on, so you can do this. And our action guide says, okay, you do it in a school, school is super important. It's like the big multiplier where you reach all young kids every day. You have a school class and you task different groups of 3 or 4 to each choose a direction, like east, west, north, northeast, and to go for like, you decide, 10 miles, 20 kilometers, and then they will map what's on the way, so wind our way through the countryside. Some will get to lakes or towns or hills, and you stay overnight and you record what you find. For example, maybe there's tales, ancient tales about a lake. So maybe then you take costumes and you play the tale on the lake, So you take lots of vivid images, like the images you've seen here from the kids with cell phones, selfies like here. It's just a selfie, you can do this. It's good enough. And then every group, reports when they're back in class, they report their adventures to the others. Well, you can be sure that everybody will be super fascinated to hear the other story. And they're taking photos, so they write it down. It's like the next assignment. It's super high value learning. And then you send it, of course, to Youth Leader and to our magazine to get published in our magazine. Do you have a youth leadership magazine on your planet, or in your country, or in your big city like New York or Paris? Well, you need one. If you don't have one, it existed, you know. So how is the young generation gonna meet the awesome coaches and change makers in town? You know, so you need one. We help you do one, you know. It's just one of our programs. You see, it's like a big brochure here, you know. We have lots of different programs, you know. Positive News Magazine is one. Then to do poster exhibits. Poster exhibits because it's not just a little story, but it's a big poster. And you could take 50 posters of 50 heroes and you put them up in a hallway at school, in a cafe or a museum or in public space in the park, and it reaches thousands of people the whole month. So that everybody has their own time to explore, interact, to stay with other people and say, well, what is this one? This? Whoa, you did like got death threats at age 12 and created peace zones in a civil war region, you know? Whoa, you know? Then others would say, well, we should do this, you know? Because different from a phone where you look alone, you watch it alone, a poster exhibit you watch with other people. You can also take a school class, you know, that starts conversations. You know, here is Maya, she did the peace zones, you know. You can do that. So that is how action starts. You've got to make hero role models omnipresent at life at home, online, in school, and in public space, you know. You can also do it on the radio, you know, like these kids, they were like 12 years old when they started a radio show in the Civil War in Liberia on Kids' View on the War. So today, you should do one not on blah blah against CO2 bubbles and the protest. No, about how to make life awesome in town. You know, you interview the awesome organic beekeepers and artists and change makers, and then you use some of these stories and you say, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do a historic hiking trail expedition. Who's joining? We are doing a book drive. Who's joining? So your radio show or your magazine at the same time becomes an action magazine, like we do the first action magazine on the planet, you know. So you do a local issue of this radio show, you know, you can pep it up with our stories, with these actions to engage your citizenry, and you document the activities, and bam, you got the next stories with the local people as the protagonists, as the heroes of your story, because they are. And then you share with teachers on the school newsletter and with local news media, and of course they love it. You know, they've just been waiting for this. And then you do it on United Nations days, you know, of water, of girls, of forests, human rights, youth skills, UN Teacher Day, you know. So you make the most awesome lesson, plus you organize a video meeting with Babar, you know. You got this global ecosystem of partners. You can do this. But it's about time you do it, because government will not pay anyone to do it. But then it also wouldn't have the right spirit. You got to do it because you love that sport. So she had a student club, and then she co-founded Divest Harvard, you know, who became an icon of the global divestment movement from coal and oil, getting like by now $7,000 billion locked for investment in dirty, destructive industries. And then she ran for office. And for the first time in the history of her district in the US, which is a rural working class and the most senior district in the USA, for the first time they voted the Democrat into office, Chloe, because they know she's able and honorable and awesome. So then she ran for senator and she won against the most powerful Republican in the state. Lots of Trump supporters, after speaking with her, said, I would never vote Democrat, but I vote for you. For the first time in history, she won. Then she became youngest senator. She introduced lots of laws, co-sponsored by both parties, because she doesn't believe in the political parties. They all disappointed us, but she looks at the good people in any party, gets them together around the table, and they say, okay, we should have this law. And then they write it in their own way. So when the one party hears the proposed law, they hear their own blah blah, and the other party hear their blah blah. Because if you only hear the blah blah from the other party, you already may say, no, we don't do this. So here they identify, and she gets excellent quality laws passed really fast together with these people, because she operates not from party interest and fear, but just from love for her people, her community, and the land. So now she's got a book out, and it's already in pre-sales. It's already #1, and she's on a tour, Dirt Road Revival, to show how we can have good governance with progressive values in the whole rural part of the USA, which has been given up by the intellectual academic Progressive Party over the past 40 years. So this is what happens when teenage changemakers turn twins. And the whole thing has been there for decades, In North America, training young people as agents of change in their communities has been part of civic education for 50 years. And it's called youth leadership. So, and me and the folks at Youth Leader, beautiful people like these who are part of the community as speakers and partners, we want youth leadership to happen all over the planet. And so far it only exists in the USA and in Canada. But you see, it's normal, and it doesn't take 50 years to start, just like with basketball, skateboarding, or snowboarding. It's like a new sport, and you have some of these species in your schools and town, you know this, and adult allies like teachers, parents, journalists, counselors, public librarians, civil society, that would love this to happen. So once they see these role models, like with any sport or music, they will start playing these songs, throwing these balls and scoring goals really fast. And they have a global network of coaches to play with. So that's youth leadership. And if you say, whoa, okay, I want this, but I don't understand. What's the strategic steps? So Youth Leader, I founded it because I don't want this most spectacular innovation of humanity in the 21st century. I don't want it to be copied once again, like it happened with the hip movement that was diluted to hippies, with social business, which was not understood by almost anyone, and social entrepreneurship that got like diluted to making business with a smile or fair trade. So I don't want youth leadership to be diluted by societies that don't have it and they don't understand the spirit, to then do some lukewarm youth participation or youth voice and call it youth leadership. It isn't. Protests are not youth leadership. 99.9% of youth leadership are projects, which you can see from what these young people do and what awards they receive all over the USA. Protest is only a very recent phenomenon. From the March for Our Lives, kids against the US government for the climate lawsuit, they were the first one that came March for Our Lives, and then Fridays for Future. This is just the popularized stuff that's been seen and detected by the Unsustainable Society's journalists, who find it spectacular when kids are screaming at government, "You're not protecting our lives, do something." So that's the only thing they see, and they put in media, and then people respond. So it's important, but it's like not enough, because none of those movements has achieved any of their goals. None. There have been a lot of collateral achievements, which is important. Now there's a respect that young people are not just stupid, and the young people understand they can self-organize, they can get stuff done, they are eloquent speakers and so on, but they also understand that putting this pious hope, a naive hope, to believe that all adults are good, and also the people in government, they will be so good and they do things, that illusion has busted. And unfortunately it took you all these years, 15 years, for all the Obama disciples to understand that that's not the way it functions. There's a lot of reasons why, because, well, it's not necessary to go into that. It's complicated. The point is, it's an old operating system, and we don't need to talk about its flaws and the bad interest groups. We got to focus on the new, on the solution sphere, and that means you stop fretting and complaining about conspiracies and all kind of shit. Okay? So now it's you. You become the new awesome superhero, inhabitant, co-creator of the next level good civilization. You become an able, active, caring citizen. All right? So then you just do this. So you stop thinking about national government and those things. Chloe also says, I see these things happen at local level and state level. There are reasons I will explain why it works there. And I see no way to do anything at national level. No. So drop it, and all the media, they always make you look at the national level and you totally forget the local level, including Fridays for Future and Extinction Rebellion. So it's old level, it's just protest, voters. So what you do is you learn solutions and you implement them. So we give you can continue doing your Fridays and your Extinction Rebellion stuff, but we don't do any of that in Youth Leader because that's intangible and government stuff. So we do only tangible stuff, all right? Because once you let the other stuff in, there's so much conversation and discussion, and then, no, we didn't do a project. So that means we do only projects in Youth Leader, only tangible stuff, okay? It's a different sport. You want to play table tennis, you go there. You're not at rugby, all right? Okay? So you want to do Chinese opera, it's okay. Here we're doing heavy metal, all right? So you want to do intangible stuff, and so you do. Here we do tangible projects because we do what no one else does, okay? So don't question us with Youth Leader. We do what none of the others do. So we specialize on that, okay? So you know all the other clubs. If you want a club, there's not blah, 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 blah. But only, okay, we agree this stuff needs to be done, no matter what skin pigment, age, or gender, and we do it. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you love that, you do it. So to make it really easy, we have something like a tutorial. It's a Be More Awesome challenge. It's a lifestyle challenge for 1 month. It's not full time. It's very little, to fit into your busy life. But we have things for every day. Because this way, because you don't know if this fits in your life or you do just one thing, we do this in this tutorial, in this challenge. We do like a whole wide scope of different things. And you just try that. Some will be super easy. You say, hey, I want to do more today. Well, wait till tomorrow. And some are a bit more challenging. Or they touch some insecurity. It's okay. Take it as a joke, as a fun, because the kids do it. You say, ooh, it makes me so nervous. I say, yeah, it's not going to be dangerous. Just try it and see what happens. You just need to do it and to understand what works and what doesn't work in your environment. How do people respond depending on their operating program, and then maybe you still understand something and you grow. And maybe then you try it again and again and again the third time. Be persistent and then it works. All right? So you're introducing innovation. It is an adventure. This is real Gryffindor stuff. Youth Leader is Hogwarts School of Magic for real. All right? So you bring light into the darkness. You awaken heroes and magical beasts because they are, So you awaken this in yourself. The moment you're inspired, you awaken. Your inner heroine is awakening. And then you start doing this around you. You will find companions. You will make impact. You will feel success. No doubt, right? So it's just the first month. So you experience so many different facets of youth leadership and of boosting heroes around the world. As an adult, as a professional, as a youth, as a student, as a family. And you also see all these different things in Youth Leader, like to donate, like to research a positive news article, and so much more. Okay? So, and then after that month, you have a really good understanding of your new global playing field, your Learn Planet, and of your set of magic wands, and of your partners to learn from, and the different programs in Youth Leader. All right, so it's like exploring this paradise garden of lots. It's like a tour of Hogwarts, but in practice, So it's very, very beautiful. So I suggest you really do this. But you also want a general understanding, okay, of the basic moves. And we have that for you. We call it, if you don't have teenage changemakers in your city, like badass heroes to make national news, and if you don't have hardcore bam bam Changemaker student clubs at all schools in town, well, then you're way behind. Then you have a mission, because without those, there can never be an able, active, caring citizenry in town. So you gotta have that. So the kids upgrade to playing this changemaker sport like their hero peers in North America. So you gotta do this. So it means for a while, whatever else you do, put it aside just for a month. Or do a little bit and do this on top. Because whatever you've been doing to date, you have failed to activate and empower the young generation, to provide them education, a proper school. And in the words of Adora Svitak, the idea of education, the idea of schooling is not to turn us into your kind of adults, but into better adults than you have been. In terms of caring for the kids, ending sexual abuse, ending bad governance, the adult generations are totally failing and have no clue how to really make things better. Yeah, all kind of theories, yeah, but no clue how to implement them. So that means the young generation has to become very different from earlier adult generations. They have to become much more able, and that is better. So it's really good for you if you go into this humbleness of your grandparents in the 1920s, living in a shed, in the rain, in the village, in the potato field, plowing the field and saying, I want my kid to go to school so they will have it better than me in life. All right? So you achieved what you had to achieve as adult generations. There's the fridge, there's the heating, there's internet. And now you help the young generation. That is your main mission. You help them become more awesome. You help them learn with today's Einsteins, Gandhis, and Gryffindors to learn humanity's finest knowledge and solutions and finest, brightest spirit, to cultivate that in themselves. These sacred cardinal virtues, actually. It's very spiritual too. And to implement them in their local communities. And you boost global young heroes with your fundraising and in-kind support and other skills, and you go visit. It's the most beautiful holiday experience. So you live your dreams. You can also go dive with sharks, with Ocean Ramsey, with a veritable mermaid, like for real. All these magical things, because it's really paradise on this planet when you join this tribe. So to cultivate youth leadership in your community, you need to create an enabling environment so you don't have to do it. It's like a garden. You put a nice earth, you make sure there's enough sun and water, you plant a few seeds, and then it grows by itself. You can support as a coach, but it can also be a wild garden. It still make fruit, lots of tomatoes and stuff, So to create this garden that it will self-activate, all the beautiful bugs and bees and butterflies, all the young change makers in town. There's 5 essential building blocks. They're totally common sense. It's no effort to create them, and we give you all the tools. First, role models. Hero role models that live this sport. All right? Human behavior, 80% of it is shaped by role models. Much of it is subconsciously copy-paste. So what role models have you been showing your kids, your students, the young generation and citizens to date? Some greedy marketeers, some models, morons. So now you show them heroes. You've seen what it does when you have one girl that's protesting with a smart sentence. Millions do like her. That didn't happen before with climate. It had to be with an action guide. Take a colorful placard on Friday and walk out. You're going to tell people what to do, like concrete, tangible. That's why we have these action guides. Second, changemaker student clubs. So you make these hero role models available at schools. There's 3 good teachers at every school. The green one, the social one, the wild one, often a sports teacher. Think back at your school day, ask any students. It exists at every school. These are our allies. The others don't matter. They will use it in class. Their activated students will do things at school that reach the other students in the other classes. It's easy. It works already at 16,000 schools. We help you. You give them the different angles, like for English learning, English language, global learning, meeting speakers in other places, linked learning, SDGs, UN days, whatever access door they want. And they can self-organize as changemaker student clubs. Like others have chess clubs or skateboarding clubs, and they work with outer school partners like the sports club or music schools. So we are this outer school partner, our global community. Just like all Fridays for Future groups at school, they work with the outer school partner of this global non-formal community. So it works for us. It's just that we have so much more heroes and real stuff to do. Third, project partners. Like I mentioned before, you have the village in Nepal, you have kids in refugee camps, you have self-defense crews in India. That means you have people in low-income countries that already lead powerful projects, that have created a lot of photos, and that are a wow story. So you are equipped with a powerful story on a popular critical issue and the solution. So you can tell the story and you can show the photos. You can even organize video meetings to bring it to life. And there are people that are not in need. Their project already works, but you can take it next level for bigger milestones and impact thousands of lives. So you should do that. So it means you can do a one-time contribution. You don't have to think, oh, I'm going to tie it in for this, it's going to be heavy for the next 5 years, and how am I feel guilty. No, you're free of that. You have these independent project partners that are able, trustworthy. All the money goes full on in the project, and usually they're volunteers to start with. And it's very easy then to get this spectacular story. Oh, you're working with these in the news media. And you give so many citizens opportunity to join with the donation, with bigger funds, as a partner company, with in-kind help, or to get booked as a speaker to speak to like 500 students or a company, or to be at a gala or at a town fest, So you have these partners for your youth crews or for you as an adult. Then you may have questions. Can you coach us? Yes. The fourth thing is coaches. You have youth leader coaches by video. You can also invite us into town. You can also get trained yourself as youth leader coach and get certified, as partner of RCE Ruhr, United Nations University, UNESCO status youth leader, and so on, so that people listen and they understand there is a competence and value that you offer. We also have magical coaches that teach you to make life, they teach things to make life more awesome, like making soap yourself, vegan chefs, 100% fair fashion, and other things. And you can work with them also with some as project partners. Those are very important because it will be very fun for your local crews to detect magical coaches in your region. People that teach stuff that makes life more awesome. To build things. Permaculture people, nature guides. But not just any nature guide, because many of them are not good educators, or they don't like people, or they don't like youth. So you only take the nature guides that are that type of the everybody's favorite teacher. Once again, you remember from school, it's usually our three, the ecological, social, wild one, that everybody agrees these are the coolest teachers. It's usually less than or about 10% at school, right? Maybe 5%. So you find those 5% of organic beekeepers, permaculture gardeners in your region who would actually love to transfer their knowledge to young people and inspire and uplift them, but they don't have the contact to young people. So that means they will love to join your tribe. You will see. We explain more about it. So we had role models, change makers, student clubs, project partners, coaches. And the fifth is, where are we going to meet? Learn spaces. All right, a learn space. Where in town can young people meet to get inspired, to learn solutions, to team up, to plan and realize projects that change lives, land, learning, laws, or industries, like to close down dirty factories. Where can they do that? Nowhere. Well, if you don't have such spaces, how can there ever be an active citizenry? So who would love such spaces? Good schools, good public libraries that reinvent themselves as community creators, learning centers, you know. So, but oh, how are we going to set that up? We don't have the role models. We do. We don't have the activities. We do. Who can help? We don't have qualified people. We have coaches. It would be great that we could do this with people on other continents. We have project partners for you, you know. So you give them this, we bundle it all up. The frame is a beautiful big exhibit of hero role models. You have also music and films, you know, it's multimedia like in a great living museum. And in there are spaces where you got all the 1,000-piece workshop crash course kit for people for self-learning or to give guided crash courses and so on. Lots of action guides for people to self-study and do projects together. And their activities, they tell us to publish in Youth Leader magazine, online, and so on. So that is a global ecosystem of resources and relations for you. Global superstar, world-class quality. Also as a newbie, totally fine. Hogwarts, totally badass skills, but they got the newbies that know nothing, you know, Ron and everybody, Leviosa, it's Leviosa, you know, Hermione and so on. So you learn your stuff, and we love teaching you, you know. You have these great handball, volleyball teachers, and well, they teach the 6-year-olds, total beginners. It's cool as long as the kids have passion and they want to learn, and then they perform. That's the feedback for the world-class people, and that's why they've joined Youth Leader, to be accessible for you, for the loving local people, young people, as well as their adult allies who care for people and planet, and that wish the young change generation to get empowered to unfold their superpowers and to do this, you know. So that is what we do with Youth Leader. So explore, get your starter kit. There you get stories and all kind of things as an introduction, and take first actions. Sign up with the different newsletters and platform. You know, we have Youth Leader with the general information on living SDGs and edu action. Youth Leader at School, speakers, project partners. And then we have the Boost Club, which is to boost global heroes with donations and more, and to boost local youth leadership. You know, there you see lots of action and progress and stuff happening. It's like our action community. And then you have Youth Leader magazine. Also, every article ends with take action steps, often leading you to the Boost Club. But so this is where there's more amazing solutions and more stuff to discover from all over the world. And a small selection of that is in the Boost Club. That's the people we closely work with for their projects, you know. So you sign up with these different platforms. We also have LinkedIn videos, LinkedIn content that's boosting for professionals, you know, so how professionals can boost global heroines and local youth leadership. And there will be 2 more platforms. One is Corona Academy, to learn skills that make life more awesome. You know, crown yourself with these skills. It's great as a coach, and it's great for home and family activities. And Be More Awesome will be, well, although it's our global slogan, there will be the youth action community. It's only for young people. Okay, sign up and you form a club or a crew of friends or a warrior clan to live it full time for future. And the young people there, they can get badges for completed missions. You know, we have over 400 missions, and you ascend ranks, you know, for 3 completed missions. Whenever you complete a fundraiser, a lifestyle challenge, and a project, you ascend 1 rank. You know, so this is real warrior ranks. You know, if you meet a warrior level 10, oh, he's done 30 things, you know, or level 70, oh, he's done 270 things, you know. So usually you ascend 1 level per month, you know, 1 rank. So, and that is still in the making. It's in the alpha phase, you know. So these things and what we offer, like everything you need to make enormous impact and create a new civilization. It's about time, and now you know what we do, and you're rolling it. So get doing and learn to be more awesome. Looking forward to meet you and to live wonderful adventures together. Because, well, that is my response to why have you come to this planet at this special time? The future of all species alive and of all generations to come depends entirely on the people alive right now. Why have you come to this planet at this special time? Is it really to stare in morbid fascination at some shiny gadgets? Seriously, you're better than that. So, be more awesome and start today to be worthy of breathing and being gifted all the beautiful riches of this magnificent planet.